Um, Good morning, Meowskivich. And then I believe we have Bernard that's going to be couching for this run.
Yep.
Good morning. Are you prepared? Are you feeling it?
I can feel the sunshine, all right.
All right. Fantastic.
So what are the results for the soundtrack? Are we having good taste, or are we using the NA soundtrack?
Ooh. Well, I know where your preference sits at. Currently, the Japanese soundtrack is at the top. It's winning. So unless we have any last-minute donations for any bid war incentives for the soundtrack for Sonic CD, we're going with the Japanese soundtrack. Yeah, I believe that that's what it's going to be. So
Awesome.
fantastic.
Just let me know when we're going to go.
Sure. I mean, from my side, I believe that we're all good to go. As long as they give you the thumbs up, then good to go. All right, you're good to go.
Alrighty. And starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome everyone, I am Meow the Meow Man Meowskivich. This is Sonic CD, and we're starting off with probably the only glitch I'm really going to be showing off. If you play through the entire game and get all the time stones, when you start a new file, sometimes enemies will just randomly die in stage 1, which are what these flowers are. To explain what this category is, all time stones, this game's version of the iconic Chaos Emeralds are, well, time stones. Much like Sonic 1, you gotta collect 50 rings and then get to the end of the stage and jump through the hoop. And that brings you to a special stage. If you collect all the time stones, you get the best ending. This category wasn't an official category until recently. I was one of the ones pushing for it to be one. Despite the fact I don't really like Sonic CD. Which seems strange because, you know, I'm running it. Goal of each special stage is to smash all these UFOs. And I missed one. Just give me a moment, need to focus. Don't really want to biff. There we go. Smash them all, and time stone is yours. So, the reasons why I don't really like this game too much is because the stages feel way too big and way too empty. But they kind of took that a step further with Knuckles Chaotix, but that's another run for another day by another person. But my biggest complaints really about this game have definitely got to be the next world and one coming up later on. I will definitely point it out when that time comes.
So it seems you really have like a love-hate relationship with this game.
In a way.
Yeah.
I really do like the soundtrack, especially the JP one. And the remake adds Tails. He wasn't in the original game. Tails moves a little slower than Sonic, but he has the special ability to fly very slowly. Kitty, don't. No, no, my kitty.
Is it normally better to run one over the other, or is it just personal preference?
It's preference. They're separate categories.
Ah, right, that makes sense, yeah. I know it's a silly question there on my part.
Also, Sonic has the ability to use the Super Peel Out, which lets him basically take off at top speed from a standing position. but both characters have the spin mash. And that's Time Stone 2. Now, a neat thing about this game is that there is a time travel mechanic. Hopefully we won't be seeing it, but it's used to... well, I'm stumbling over my words. In each stage, there is a robot generating machine that exists in the past. So you gotta time travel to the past to break it, and then it creates a good future for that stage. If you create good futures for both of the stages, crud, that's so far away. If you create good future for both of the stages, the boss stage will become good future version. If you don't, then it's bad future version, which is what this is, where everything's all dreary and broken looking. In the stages, you can also go to the future. You really don't want to do that under any circumstances, pretty much.
Gotcha.
Trying to gather my thoughts. After you collect all the time stones... Oh, wrong stage. After you collect all the time stones, all the boss stages will always be good future, though. You can also get the best ending by destroying all the robot machines. Time stones are completely optional. And this is Collision Chaos, one of the stages I hate the most. We shall be seeing very little of it. So, yeah. This is where Tails comes in very handy.
I can see that, just skipping over everything.
Yep.
Do we have a moment just for a quick donation?
Go ahead.
So we have $25, and I'll read their name in just a moment. But they say, okay, that was a lot of promises you just made. So I'm putting you to the test. Please demonstrate reading my name and message with a twinkle in your eye. Thanks in advance. You're welcome. Tina Hex. I don't know if you felt the emotion there, but I felt the connection. Thank you so much, Tina.
You could almost feel the twinkle in the eye coming up there.
Yeah. Not only hear, but feel the twinkle.
So you said before that this stage you kind of hated the most, Meowskivich. Hey, so what stage would you say would be the opposite of the one stage you enjoyed the most?
Quartz Quadrant, the entire world of Quartz Quadrant is by far my most favorite, both in stage design and music. In fact, my most favorite soundtrack in the game is the Bad Future for Quartz Quadrant. Because each version of the stage has its own version of its theme. And here we have one of the worst bosses. Another reason why Collision Chaos is not my favorite. But thankfully, Tails can fly. So, screw this boss. With Sonic, it's a lot harder. Because he can't fly. So you gotta play Sonic Spinball. And I think that's probably my best time going through this stage as Tails. Here we have Tidal Tempest 3! It's the water stage. Everybody loves water stages. Thankfully, this one isn't anywhere as bad as some of the other water stages throughout the Sonic series, because you can pretty much stay out of the water for most of it. Oh.
A very casual water stage.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Only take a dip when you want to.
Yeah, but if you fall down, especially as Sonic, you're gonna have a bad time. Because the real water stage is down below. You don't want to go down below. I said I don't want to go down below, thank you. Oh, heck.
Got this. Oh.
Yes.
Saved.
Just barely enough space. I also find the water stages here to actually be the easiest to get the rings in this game. Well, second easiest. Easiest is Sports Quadrant by far.
So, for someone wanting to potentially get into the speed run, what would they need in terms of setup, and what would be a good way to go about getting into it from like a beginner's perspective?
Probably just watch a couple speed runs is all. There are a few little tricks, but a lot of this comes down from muscle memory and like understanding how certain mechanics work for sure. Like rolling down slopes is a lot faster than running down it normally, as long as there's enough downhill slope to go down.
Gotcha.
So, like in Palm Tree Panic Stage 2, I started rolling while I was at the top of the slope, and that made me go through the slope a little bit faster. Something else to really learn would definitely be the patterns for the UFOs in the special stages, because they seem completely random unless you've played it a few times.
Of course.
And some of the special stage UFO hitboxes are also a little finicky. Like, you can pass right through them. There'll probably be one that I'll mention coming up here soon enough. That's in Special Stage 6. That is always my bane, because the hitbox, I swear, is not correct on it.
Oh boy, broken hitboxes. Who doesn't love those?
Yeah. Ah, crud. Where are you at? There we go. Let's see. Trying to think if there's anything I should mention. I'm drawing a blank right now. Got any questions? Any donations? Anything?
That's okay. Yeah, we don't have any brand new donations just yet, but it's a good time for me to remind people that we do have bid wars coming up later on, where you can submit names that will be used for the Final Fantasy free enterprise runs, as well as bid wars for Link's name and Epona's name and Zelda Twilight Princess. And those need to be in before those games start later on today. So feel free to type !donate in the chat, or see the button down below. Be sure to specify where your donation is going towards. I do know that Final Fantasy will be accepting multiple names. The top 12 will be used, and they have a 6-character limit. So feel free to add in your names. I believe there's still many slots there to be filled. So if you have a name, send it on in.
Oh, this is the hardest boss in the game. You'll see why. Man, I don't know how I won that one. Yeah, it's kind of funny putting an invincibility box inside of a boss stage. Right before the boss. Especially when the boss only has 1 HP.
Oh wow.
And here we are, my most favorite stage in the game. Sort of Crystal Cavern stage, which is a favorite theme of mine in games. And if you can listen to the music, it is quite exquisite. So if you ever notice me sparkling in a stage, that's because I have time travel starting to activate. And a little sign that's blinking a name in the bottom left, that is basically saying you're about to go. The ways to quit it are to basically slow yourself down. That's about it. But some things, well, for some reason, even if you're entrapped in something, will still carry your speed. And I need to focus for this one, so I'm going to be a little bit quiet for a moment. But for all time zones, you really do not want to time travel at all, ever. I'd also like to put a forewarning for Special Stage 6 that will be coming after Quartz Quadrant 2. The skybox for that stage will make your eyes vomit, so if you have epilepsy, you should probably look away for a minute or two. I'll let you know when we're about to go in, and then I'll say when we're out.
Thank you for the photosensitivity warning.
Yep. Yeah, I know epilepsy is not good. I've had friends that have had bad things happen in the past, so I know how serious of an issue it can actually be.
So can you remind us for this game, is this is a PC port?
It is a PC port of an Android remake.
There you go.
We're going into Special Stage number 6. If you have epilepsy, again, please look away until I say otherwise. Here we are. What was in that Biffus? I missed. Man, I am dipping it hard. And good. Trying to compensate a little for the voice delay.
So we just need the one more time stone now, correct?
Yep. And that will come in the second stage of the next world, which is also one of the worst stages, well, worst worlds in this game. Mostly this first stage of this next world. Yeah, my voice is trying to give out on me. And if we have any donations, feel free to read them, because this is Hold Right, the boss battle.
Yeah, actually, we don't have any new ones currently, but you know, there's always time. It's always a good time for the children. What an invigorating boss battle.
Yeah. I'll give it this much though. It's unique. Oh yeah. This stage is also a good and easy way of seeing the differences in difficulty, because bad future bosses are always harder than good future. The only difference for this boss is that that spike wall on the left is a little further out if it's the good future. That's the only difference. Same fight otherwise. Here we are, Wacky Workbench, which is basically Collision Chaos on steroids. Oh no, I got squished. Except only I didn't. I don't really know how players are normally supposed to find that out, other than maybe accidentally getting flattened. But it's really obscure to get crushed by pistons in this stage. No other stage you should ever get crushed by pistons because you will actually die. But in this stage, you get a secret shortcut. And another nice thing about Tails, we can avoid the floor altogether. Because if you touch the floor, you get shot into the ceiling. And all the floors going up to the ceiling are one-way floors. So you're then going to have to wind your way down. And you might have noticed there are like these electric coils on the background. They'll just periodically start being electrified, and they will hurt you. They are quite annoying.
We have another donation here from Buff Pup that reads, "Good morning, everyone. Who wants breakfast?" Thank you so much for the $25 donation. We're going to put that towards breakfast.
Breakfast is always a good meal. And here we are, the very less vomit-inducing Stage 7.
So this UFO stage isn't as awful as the previous one. It actually has quite delightful background art. It's a little bit more pleasing to look at.
It's like watermelon colored. Green skies, pink, water, I guess. Got them all!
We did it.
Yep. There's another glitch that I shall not be showing off. If you try to exit and reload your file after you've collected all the time stones, the bosses will be in bad future. I don't know why. I guess the game just doesn't have it checked that you have all the time stones. It's kind of weird, even if you do. And this boss fight is simple enough. Just hop and bop. For the bad future version of the stage, the hole in the middle is slightly wider, if I recall. Oh no, I got hit. Bosses in this game overall are pretty easy though. Like even the final boss doesn't really feel like a final boss. It's just, every boss is just super easy. To the moon! I love that little ramp at the start. And time to skip the rest of the stage. That's a pretty good time. That might actually be my best.
It's a quick stage.
Yep. This stage is a little funkier. You're going through these tubes for most of it. Whoa. Oh, what's that thing?
So with this game coming out in 2011, being the port of a remake, when did you decide to pick this up? When did you start speedrunning this game?
A couple months ago. Basically, just shortly before I joined the First for Life thing.
Awesome.
Yep. Basically, I saw that all time stones wasn't a accepted normal category, and I was like, that is wrong because the special stages are one of the few good things about this game. And they're like, well, not enough people run it. So I decided to start running it and be like, just kept submitting times as I got better, and they eventually made it. I am currently the world record holder. I just yesterday got a time of 29 minutes and 45 seconds, which is the first sub 30 for this category.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. Still need to clip and submit it though.
That's fantastic, though. That this is a run because it seems, just from what we're seeing, it seems completely viable. I mean, why wouldn't it be a category?
Because people really don't like the finicky hitboxes on the UFOs. That's pretty much all I've really gathered from when I was questioning it. Now, the special thing about this stage is that you're pretty much always going to be finishing it at the same time. Because even if you get to the end very fast, there we go. Robotnik always arrives at the exact same time, so. Boop. In Sonic's version of this game, Amy would be tied up there, and you're saving her. They just put a little flower capsule at the end for Tails, though. And I hope you don't like Metallic Madness, because we're not going to be seeing much of it either. About the most of it we're going to be seeing is the top of this first stage and the boss stage. That's about it. Also, this is the last world, so time is coming up super soon.
Do we have a moment for a donation, or should I wait
Go
for
right
it close?
ahead.
We have an incredibly generous $50 from Ahmed, who says, "Good time zone. Just wanted to help out for the hecking great cause, and also say y'all are doing a fantastic job." Less than 3. Oh, if no one put anything towards Link's name in Twilight Princess, have him be named Stinky. Boof. Fantastic. Thank you so much for your donation, Ahmed. We will be putting that towards the bidding wars for the Twilight Princess Link name, which, by the way, friends, you're more than welcome to, just as Ahmed's did, send in your own donations for your own names for the upcoming Twilight Princess run, and those have to be in before the start of the run. So if I'm not mistaken, I believe that Stinky is now going to be a hot contender for Link's name. Thank you so much, Ahmed.
And here we are at the final stage. And I flew at the wrong time. Here we have the only RNG in the game, these bugs. They can become hittable outside of your jumpable range. And you can only hit them just briefly after they spawn. And here we are at the final boss. He has 4 hits. You can see them by the little boxes on his machine there. When I hit him on the last... when I hit him the last time, which is when he has only 1 box attached left... Haha, I got both hits on him. He's done for, so that's time. Hopefully that makes sense. That was kind of stumbling over my words again. And like I said, the bosses in this game are easy. Any last minute questions before we end? Or before my voice gives out completely?
None from me in particular, unless there's anybody that in chat or anybody that's sending in any donations has any questions regarding...
Sorry.
No, it's all good. Fantastic run. Thank you so much for showing it to us.
Yeah.
And demonstrating your skill.
Thank you for having me. Wait, what time is it?
I think. Yeah, I think the timer was stopped a little bit early, so it shows 20:41. That wasn't quite finished yet.
Somewhere around 29:56.
Oh, that's
Not
not
a really good time.
quite world record. Yeah, it is a pretty fantastic time. That's sub 30.